Alternative Radio.
Texas History Lessons presents an occasional daily dose of Texas history with your host, Michael.
On April 26, 1854, the United States War Department ordered Randolph B. Marcy to assist Indian agent Robert S. Neighbors in locating and surveying land for reservations in unsettled territory. The ideal locations would be a spot with good timber and good soil and, if possible, navigable water. The third expectation would be difficult to find in Texas on unsettled land. Marcy and Neighbors did their job, and after consulting with the Native American groups that the reservations were being created for, they chose a site of 4 leagues of land on the Brazos River near Fort Belknap, near modern Newcastle in Young County. This would be home for the Caddos, Wacos, and others. A second site was selected 40 miles away on the Clear Fork of the Brazos. This would be the reservation for the southern Comanches. A third planned site was adjacent to the Brazos River reservation where the Caddo and Waco would live, and it was planned for native groups living west of the Pecos, especially the Mescalero and Lipan Apaches. Of course, getting the Mescalero and Lipan to agree to move was much harder than just planning for it, and the 4 leagues of land were added to the Brazos Reservation, doubling it in size. Now, I'm going to be honest here. If you're like me and aren't exactly sure what a league of land is, then here you go. A league of land is 4,428.4 acres. So, these were quite large areas by modern standards, but not so large as peoples like the Comanches and Caddos were used to covering. To make a long story short, things were difficult for the reservations. The Brazos Reservation became home to about 2,000 Native Americans. Caddo, Anadarko, Waco, and Tonkawa Indians had their own villages. These peoples, for the most part, especially the Caddo, Anadarko, and Waco, were already successful farmers and had been for generations, and grew corn, wheat, vegetables, and melons. After the Treaty of August 30th, 1855, about 450 of the Pentateuch, or the southern Comanches, settled on the reservation established for them. They were taught to cultivate corn, melons, beans, pumpkins, and other vegetables, and they did very well, considering that's not the lifestyle they had been following. Or they would have done very well had it not been for extreme drought conditions that kept them from growing all that they needed. So when Kickapoos, northern Comanches, and others raided, the inhabitants of the reservations were blamed. The reservations were too close to the old Comanche raiding trail into Mexico, and troublemakers often intruded from it and tried to entice Comanches to join them on raids. There wasn't enough protection from the federal troops for the reservation, and disappointingly, white hostility to the Native Americans living on the reservations, trying to follow the rules, was intense and hard to control from erupting into violence. Like I said, if anybody did anything wrong, even if they weren't reservation people, the reservation members got the blame. And so, things were on the verge of getting out of control by 1858, and the safety of the reservation dwellers was a major point of concern due to white hostility and threats. They were removed from Texas and sent to Indian Territory in 1859. And then both plots of land that the reservations were on reverted to the state when this happened, and of course became the home for future white settlers.